Well, you saw that came up again this week,
yeah,
right?
because she made another comment.
She put her foot in her
What did
mouth
she
so
say?
hard
What
again.
She said, I'm paraphrasing. It was like, I have the right to play whatever role I want. And then, it kind of went off of there. And then she kind of retracted. And
To me, it's hard because I feel like she feels a certain way, but then she's apologized for feeling that way, but she still feels that way.
Right.
So then don't if that's how you feel, then don't say sorry and then say the same thing
You're saying
again.
she wasn't really able to say the way she really felt the first time she was saying what she was supposed to say.
Yeah, exactly. And so now she said it again, thinking
But so
that it wouldn't.
they're just saying she can't play trans because she's not trans? Is that the thing?
That was what the big thing was.
That was
Yes.
They thought that for that particular role.
And people can fall on different sides of that argument, but she apologized. She turned down the role and she said, I shouldn't be playing that role. You guys are right. And then now has said, I should be able to play whatever role I want.
I mean,
and
what's her name wouldn't have an Oscar if she didn't play the trans role.
She wasn't, but she wasn't. She wasn't trans yet, though. And that she was. You're talking about for
Boy Interrupted.
I'm not even.
Not Boy Interrupted. It's shoot.
No, that's
Girls Don't Cry.
Girls Don't Cry.
I'm not even saying whether or not somebody should be able to. I'm just saying if you feel a certain way, then you shouldn't then say you don't, and then say exactly how you feel again later on. But then she's now apologized again, saying she misspoke and was again.
I don't know. I kind of have trouble with this one because it's not like she's saying she can play like an Asian girl, even though she didn't go to the show.
I don't want you to get yourself in trouble because we don't know the exact quotes.
Okay.
We don't know the exact
here's
quotes.
her quote. So, as an actor, I should be allowed to play any person or any tree or any animal because that is my job and the requirements of my job, she told, what was the interview? About Hollywood, sorry. As If magazine, thank you. Sorry about that. I feel like it's a trend in my business and it needs to happen for various social reasons. Yet there are times it does get uncomfortable when it affects the art because I feel art should be free of restrictions. And people are pushing back on this. Yes, ScarJo, you should be able to play a tree because there aren't countless sentient trees desiring to act, yet struggling to get cast in roles. But there are a ton of LGBTQIA non-binary actors who have vocalized that they would love to represent those characters.
But you still have to
Screenwriter
sell a
Stephanie
movie.
Micah said.
Like, I don't know who you have to have a bankable star in some movies.
Because
right?
I guess the counter to that would be, will give us an opportunity to become a bankable star.
Okay.
I think what's challenging is that I have not yet seen, and I'm sure somebody out there is going to correct me and tell me where it is, but I have not seen trans people playing cisgender roles yet.
Right.
So right now there's such a small amount of roles that trans people are being cast in that if it is a trans role and we're casting somebody who is a straight white woman in it, nothing to do with the fact that she's white, actually, just a straight woman in it that was born the way with her anatomy, that she has so many other opportunities that trans people don't have.
That's what you're getting.
So I think
I'm not arguing that.
I think that's what people are saying, and it's the same thing with race roles. It's the same thing. There's tons of things about it. I just wish she turned this down.
Right.
She turned down the role and apologized, and then said this. It
I
just
understand where
doesn't
you're
make
coming
sense.
from, but to go off of what you asked too, because you could see that'd be a lot of people's responses, or a lot of people would be like, well, they're trying to sell it off as ScarJo because she's
Star power.
Star power. But the same conversation we had about Elvis before in the last show, right? What you do is you cast big stars around that role. And then what you do is you give an opportunity to someone who is trans.
Right.
And you let them take that role and you find the right person to do it. And then you surround them with huge stars
Because
to
otherwise there will never be a huge trans star.
You're right.
And that's kind of my point of it. So it's like it's not always about like, well, we can't really market it off of that particular person. You can. You just have to find a way to do it creatively to where you can put, but De Niro's in it with the person or whoever, or whoever the big star is directing is starring next to them with a big director. You can do it.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but you can do it. But you've also got to find the right talent. It doesn't necessarily mean just because the person's trans that they're going to nail the role. You got to find the talent with it too. And and you're right though. There are tons of people out there that we just don't know yet.
Yeah. I mean, the girl in Euphoria is trans.
Right. Which is
I gotta
interesting
get
because
into
same
that.
as Grey's Anatomy, they don't explore it for a few episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, you know that.
What?
That they didn't explore that one of the girls in
Oh,
Euphoria
no,
was
totally.
trans for a few episodes.
Yeah, it wasn't even a thing until it got brought up.
Which is interesting. I'm still waiting though to see a trans either man or woman on screen that is not playing trans.
Right.
Why? I don't know why we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense too. Again, I'm not in casting offices, and I don't know what the thought process is behind all of this. But I mean,
do we think that this movie though? Do we think this movie is gonna go? Or do they think it's just going to die in development?
I mean,
I think Rub and Tug's a really bad shot at it.
Right.
Yeah.
To change that.
I thought it was.
I thought she dropped out.
Well, she's definitely out of it now. Yeah,
I mean, she's gone.
Yeah, because Silver Pictures was the ones who were producing it. I don't think they're involved anymore either. But anyway,
Like
anything
you can't
else
even
going on?
say the name of the movie around your children.
It should sound.
What's Robin
I
Tug?
thought it was going to be. I said Jonah Hill. I thought it was going to be like a comedy.
Yeah,
or something.
I
too,
forgot
because
that. I feel like it wasn't called this at some point because
I think it was.
Really?
I think it was.
Robin Tug?
Now, Roxy had mentioned at one point that there was the big backlash for it because there was a lot. The community believed that a trans should have been in the lead. A trans performer had been in the lead, and so with Scarlett Johansson originally had said, like, you're right, we're going to back off this thing, I'm out. But then recently the comments came out that she was kind of defending that she should be able to play anything.
It was a different conversation to as if she was just saying she should be able to play whatever she wants.
And so the conversation a lot of times comes like, well, it's a marketable star and that's how they were going to do it. My pushback on that was the fact that I think that you could put big stars around that particular lead if you want to showcase new talent. Otherwise, you don't get that new talent to ever pop.
Absolutely, yeah. That becomes this sort of self-perpetuating cycle. Oh, there are no queer stars. Why? Because we don't cast queer people in queer roles. And why? Because there's no queer stars, I think that if Scarlett Johansson wants to get this movie made and wants people to see it, there are a lot of ways for her to make that happen without doing trans face, basically.
Right.
She can produce it. She can play a supporting role as a cis woman. There's a lot of things going on. But I think we have reached a point where we are no longer accepting like Katharine Hepburn in yellow face makeup the way we once did in Hollywood.
Right.
Google it; it's a thing that happened.
Holiday Inn, that blackface
exactly.
scene is crazy.
Yeah, blackface all the time in old Hollywood movies. Like we realize like this is not acceptable, and that there's no reason to do it because there's no shortage of talented people who can come in and play those roles.
We just need to find them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, like there are no lack of great trans performers out there that could play the crap out of this movie. And if none of them are famous yet, that's not their fault.
No.
And I think there's a way to make that movie around an unknown. We do it all the time.
Right. Well, we're going to do this with Elvis. The guy that just got cast as Elvis, and other people are going to be like Tom Hanks is going to be in it with him.
Exactly.
So you build around that particular performer because that's how you build the star.
Yes.
This is what I was asking about it, though. Can you think of a role, or do you know why it hasn't happened often, where a trans person is playing a cisgender role?
It hasn't come up much, but again, like that's part of the struggle here. It's like if you're not going to cast trans people as trans people, and you're not going to cast trans people as cis people, when are you casting trans people?
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why that isn't happening the other way around either.
Yeah, and because after the conversation that he and I had earlier on this too, when it came to Boys Don't Cry, like my and it's because I'm probably ignorant to it. What I said was I didn't believe that the character in Brandon wasn't transgender. What was it?
Yes, trans is Brandon is a trans man.
Oh, she was. Okay,
yeah.
He was.
You have to also, think about your terms here. Like a trans person is not necessarily somebody who has had any kind of medical thing done.
About identification.
No procedure, no surgery, no hormones. It is about identification. It is about that's
how they identify themselves.
Understanding oneself.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Understood. So,
well, it was actually International Non-Binary Day 2 days ago or the other day, and there's so much information out there now about
that
if
you
you're
can
curious.
Find out. Yeah, because that's why. So then, with that conversation, then too, would you say then because Hilary Swankton did the role, won the Oscar for it today, it would probably be the same conversation? And
I think so. And there are a lot of trans people who are not fans of that movie for that casting. And I think that 1999 was about, I would like to think that's about the late period of getting away with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that now the trans community is a lot more vocal. I think people know more, and I think that we can do better.
Well, I'm certainly learning because I don't know enough of it yet. But I mean, we have someone.
Hey, look, I am too.
Yeah.
I've been lately, as a joke on my podcast, Who Shot You? Like I refer to myself as an elderly gay. So
it's like my dad with Skype.
Yeah. So the kids in their 20s are teaching me so much about gender, especially, but like all facets of queer living because it's an evolving process.
Yeah, and I like to pride myself on, and I think everybody in this room is people who are willing to change and grow and adapt to whatever new things come towards us and just try to be respectful of people. And I'm learning all the time, and I feel like I make mistakes constantly, but I want so badly to do better, and I hope that people see that.